Every weekday morning at सुबह के 6 बजने में 20 मिनट बाकी, while Chicago still slept under a grey blue sky, Maria Alvarez stepped off the bus on Becker Drive and adjusted her one jacket against the wind coming off the river. She had been doing this for 11 years, 3 months, and 6 days. Maria didn't count time because she was sentimental. She counted because counting was a habit, and habits kept her steady in a world that had never been gentle with her. The glass tower of Hawthorne Financial rose above her like a silent giant, its windows dark, reflecting only the streetlights and her small moving figure. Inside that building, billions of dollars shifted every week. Entire industries trembled because of decisions made on its upper floors. Maria had never been past the lobby during business hours. To her, the building smelled of lemon cleaner, metal, and quiet. She swiped her badge, nodded to the night security guard, who barely looked up anymore, and pushed her cleaning cart toward the elevators. The wheels squeaked softly, a sound she'd learned to tune out the same way she tuned out exhaustion. As the elevator rose, Maria mentally reviewed her routine. Floor 12, bathrooms first, then desks. Floor 23, glass walls, always fingerprints. Floor 47, executive level. No mistakes there. Floor 47 required precision. The executives liked things untouched, undisturbed, invisible. Maria understood that kind of pride. You're done, T want anyone to know you needed help. When the elevator doors slid open, the air changed. It was cooler, cleaner, quieter. The carpet absorbed sound like it was designed to erase human presence. Maria pushed her cart out slowly. Her habit was observation. She noticed the faint scuff on the baseboard that hadn't been there yesterday. She noticed a coffee cup left on a side table, unusual this late. She noticed the conference room doors. One of them wasn't fully closed. That stopped her. Conference room C was almost sacred. Meetings happened there that affected markets in Asia and Europe before sunrise. The doors were always sealed. Always. Maria stood still, her hand tightening around the cart handle. Something is out of place, her mind whispered. Her mother's voice followed, as it always did in moments like this. Quando algo no anquea, es porque alguien no miró bien. When something doesn't fit, it's because someone didn't look carefully. Maria hesitated. She wasn't paid to think. She was paid to clean. Still, habit pushed her forward. She nudged the door open just enough to peek inside. The lights were on. That alone was wrong. Her breath caught slightly as she stepped in. The room was immaculate except for the long oak table, where a black leather folder lay open, papers spread in a way that suggested haste. Not carelessness, urgency. Maria knew better than to touch anything. She set her cart by the wall and approached slowly, like someone entering a church. On the folder, embossed in silver letters, was a name she recognized instantly. Jonathan Reed. Even people who cleaned offices knew that name. Billionaire. Founder. The man who built Hawthorne Financial from a rented office into a global powerhouse. The man executives spoke about with equal parts admiration and fear. Maria's first instinct was to leave. Then she saw the pages. Charts. Graphs. Red arrows. Bold numbers circled aggressively, as if daring the future to you. She didn't understand the language, but she understood patterns. And the pattern felt wrong. One page was upside down. That bothered her more than it should have. She gently turned it around, not reading, just aligning. That's when she noticed the totals at the bottom of the page. Her eyes narrowed. She wasn't good with big numbers, but she was very good with consistency. Years of budgeting, of stretching grocery money, of checking receipts twice had trained her brain. These numbers didn't match the trend shown above them. Maria flipped back a page, then forward again. The projections rose sharply, confidently. But the margin notes, written in pen, told a quieter story. One column had a decimal place that didn't align with the rest. It was subtle, easy to miss, but Maria had raised a son alone. She'd learned the difference between almost right and right could mean the difference between rent paid and eviction. Her pulse quickened. She looked around the room, half expecting someone to bust in and accuse her of crossing a line. No one came. She swallowed. I shouldn't be here, she murmured to herself. Still, her eyes returned to the page. If this was a mistake, and she didn't know that it was, but if it was, then it wasn't small. The red arrows pointed to something big. Dangerous. Her hands trembled slightly. She imagined the executives who would walk in later, nodding confidently. She imagined the signatures, the momentum. Maria felt suddenly very small. Who am I to say anything? She thought. A janitor. A woman no one noticed unless something was dirty. Her habit argued back. Who are you not to? She stepped back from the table and paced once, twice. Her mind replayed every warning she'd ever received. Don't touch. Don't interfere. Don't get involved. Then another habit rose, one she couldn't shake. When something is wrong, you say so. Maria pulled a yellow sticky note from her pocket. She always kept them. Labels, reminders, little anchors of order in chaos. Her pen hovered. She didn't accuse. She didn't explain. She didn't pretend to understand more than she did. She wrote carefully, deliberately. Sir, I don't know what this is. But the numbers don't match the conclusion. Please check page 4. She stared at the note for a long moment, then placed it gently on top of the folder. Her heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her ears. She closed the folder, not to hide it, but to protect it, and straightened the chairs. She wiped the table, careful not to disturb anything else. When she left the room, she paused at the door and looked back once. This is probably nothing, she whispered. But habits don't care about probability. They care about doing what feels right, again and again, until one day, it changes everything. Maria turned off the lights, closed the door properly this time, and pushed her cart down the hallway, unaware that she had just stepped into the path of a decision worth $500. In exactly 3 minutes, Jonathan was scheduled to approve a leveraged acquisition that analysts had called historic. If it went through, Hawthorne would dominate a new sector overnight. If it failed, Jonathan didn't finish that thought. He never did. Confidence was his habit. He entered conference room C, loosened his cufflinks, and reached for the black leather folder already waiting on the table. That's when he saw it. A yellow sticky note. Jonathan froze. It shouldn't have been there. His jaw tightened slightly. He hated disorder, hated surprises, hated people touching his things. For half a second, he considered throwing it away without reading. Then another habit, older, quieter, forged during the years when he wasn't yet rich, spoke up. Read everything once. He sighed, annoyed, and picked up the note. Sir, I don't know what this is. But the numbers don't match the conclusion. Please check page 4. Jonathan let out a short, humorless breath. A janitor's opinion, he muttered. Still, his fingers turned to page 4. His eyes scanned quickly, at first too quickly. Then slower, then painfully slow. The room went silent, except for the faint hum of the city outside. Jonathan sat down. The assumption model was right. The market timing made sense. The strategy was bold, but the risk coefficient, his hand stopped. 1 decimal point, just one, copied from an outdated stress model. Jonathan's pulse jumped. He flipped backward, forward, recalculated in his head. No, he whispered. He pulled out his phone and called his head analyst. Cancel the meeting, Jonathan said, voice tight. Now, sir, the board is, now. Minutes later, the room filled with analysts, laptops snapping open, fingers flying. The excitement they'd walked in with dissolved into confusion, then tension. Numbers were rerun. Silence grew heavier. Finally, someone spoke. If this deal had executed, the analyst said carefully, the leverage would have collapsed within 48 hours. Jonathan stared at the screen. How much? He asked. The analyst swallowed. Roughly, $500 million in exposure. Minimum. The room felt colder. Jonathan leaned back, closing his eyes. $500 million. Lost, not because of greed, or corruption, or bad intent, but because everyone followed momentum instead of habit. Everyone trusted speed over scrutiny. Everyone except someone who wasn't even supposed to be there. Jonathan opened his eyes. Who cleaned this room this morning? He asked. No one answered. Find out. 2 hours later, Maria Alvarez stood outside the executive office, hands clasped so tightly her fingers hurt. She hadn't slept since her shift ended. Fear had sat on her chest like a weight. I shouldn't have written that note, she thought. I crossed a line. The door opened. Maria Alvarez. A voice called. She stepped in. Jonathan Reed stood, not behind his desk, but in front of it. That alone shocked her. I'm not here to fire you, he said, reading her face instantly. Sit down. She didn't trust her voice, so she nodded. Jonathan held up the yellow sticky note. Why did you write this? Maria hesitated, then spoke honestly. I clean. I notice. When things don't match, it bothers me. That's all. Jonathan let out a slow breath. That habit, he said quietly, saved this company $500 million. Maria's eyes widened. That's not possible, she whispered. Jonathan smiled faintly. That's what everyone else thought too. He walked to the window, looking down at the city he'd spent his life conquering. We train people to move fast, he said. To trust systems, to trust titles. Then he turned back to her. Your trusted attention. Jonathan extended his hand. I want you in operations oversight. Not because you understand finance, but because you understand when something is wrong. Maria's hands trembled as she shook his. I just did my job, she said. Jonathan shook his head. No, he replied. You did what most people stopped doing a long time ago.